What's up, VA fam? It's Mandy, aka Mandy Money, aka Mandra to Tiffany and to Tiffany only, who is not with me today, but I am happy to be here anyway, answering y'all's questions on the show. That's right. This is the BAQA. Now, if you have a question you want to submit to the podcast, hit us up on Instagram. You can follow us at Brown Ambition Podcast and slide into our DMs with your question. You can also send us an email. Snail mail, right? Kind of. brownambitionpodcast@gmail.com. Now, I'm not going to lie because we keep it 100 on this show. Your girl is tired. On top of having a brand new baby and a crazy toddler. Yo, why do they not talk about the toddler stage? Everyone talks about, not the toddler stage, the 3 and 4 stage. No one talks about that. They only talk about the newborn stage being exhausting. You know what? I would take 12 newborns sometimes over my 3.5-year-old tantrum. But on top of that, y'all, I am writing my very first book, and it has been so rewarding and so challenging. And I feel incredibly privileged to get the opportunity to do that. But the level of focus that it requires, when I get into that book cave and I get into my groove, I had to pull myself all the way out of that cave to come here and to answer these questions, y'all. And I am grateful for y'all giving me a chance to actually talk to people again, besides babies. And I'm just saying, I'm going to do the best I can to answer these questions. But if I got to search for words or start over, just blame not mom brain, but like mom brain plus book brain. Okay. But we're going to get it going for y'all. We have 2 juicy questions. I'm going to do one money question because I thought it was very interesting. And then a second one about a career. Okay. So a career question from someone who's feeling like at 49 years old, their career is a little bit more janky than they wanted at this point. And then I'm going to take a money question from someone who's wondering if it's worth spending money on a financial planner because her husband, as husbands do, is not listening to her. Okay. So let's jump into it. Question number 1 comes from a listener who would like to remain anonymous. She says, she or he, I'm just going to assume it's a she. They say, I experienced burnout working in the school system and I left at the end of 2022. Towards the end of my time there, I landed a remote part-time turned full-time position working in a completely different field from my field of speech pathology. I really enjoyed the change and the job. It also offered me the quality of life that I wanted. But out of the blue, about 8 months later, I was let go at the end of 2023. Anyway, I fell back to my degree, but this time I work with adults in the geriatric population through a staffing and contract agency. Overall, it's been fine, but now I just found out the facility will soon break ties with my staffing agency. So the rug has gotten pulled out from under me again, but at least this time I've got some advance notice. At 49 years old, though, this is not how I want the rest of my life to look. I've got responsibilities and bills. I'm okay with doing this current job, and they seem willing to hire me as staff and possibly negotiate some things. However, thinking about it, I don't want to stay here for the long term. Can you give me some advice on how to move forward at my age? All right, Anonymous, listen, 49, I want you to sort of like throw that number out of the window a little bit because I'll be blunt. I think that we use our age to put ourselves in a box sometimes and to put ourselves in a box that feels like this is where I should be. This is what I should be doing at this age. And it really doesn't serve us. In fact, it makes us feel really crappy. Like the way that you're feeling right now is, I'm 49. Shouldn't I have something steady and stable by now? Shouldn't I not be having to deal with the ups and downs of a career that at 49 should be all figured out by now? All right, listen, you made a choice that was best for you. You got burnt out, so you shook up your career. I think that's awesome. Here's the thing, like when people sometimes make changes in their careers, which I think we should be allowed to do at any age, sometimes the road will not be super linear and you may have a setback and you may need to readjust to move forward. And that's sort of what's happening now. Like you changed, you went a different path and now you're getting back into your, the space that you've been in, which is speech pathology. And now you're working for an agency, and yeah, this agency is about to maybe potentially lose its contract with the facility that you're working at. And now you've got to figure out sort of what your next move is. But I would say that this is just a normal symptom of someone who's changing up their career a little bit. You left the school system. Now you're working for, it sounds like, a private contracting firm. So it may be that you're going to feel some growing pains with this opportunity. I want you to stop thinking about, at this age, you should have this figured out, and instead think of, wow, I am sort of starting a sort of a new chapter in my career, and it's going to give me, I'm going to have some growing pains. It's going to take a little while for me to get everything smoothed out and figured out. And that's okay. Okay. Now, what you're learning about yourself is you really don't like no one does really, you really don't like being or feeling like you're at the mercy of another company to sort of get your access to jobs, right? So you're working for a staffing agency. It's, you're relying on them to get relationships with other facilities so that you can be one of the workers that works for that facility. And then if they lose their contract, then you're, out in the cold. I think what would be great is if you started to develop your own relationships with some facilities, and then on your own independently, you could have your own contract, you can get hired full time and sort of cut out that middleman of a contract or staffing agency. Now, even this is not necessarily going to give you like the perfect smooth path, because of course the pros of having like a freelancing or contract agency is that they're going to help you find your next client, right? And I'm assuming even if they lose their contract with this place, that they would help you get placed somewhere else, right? So you're going to lose that little bit of, safety net by having a contract, sort of having a staffing agency work with you. On the other hand, if you were fighting for your own place at these facilities as a consultant or as an independent contractor, then maybe you could negotiate higher rates than whatever the staffing agency could negotiate for you. And maybe you could negotiate longer contract terms, take things, into your own hands a little bit. I just to reiterate, I just don't want you to think, okay, I'm 49 and this is unacceptable. I think that we need to see different versions of how careers can be playing out at every age. Okay. And at whatever age you're at, nothing can beat the power of networking when you need to get new information and learn a different approach. So what I want to say to you right now is, now you're 49 and we love to put ourselves in the box of I'm too old to make new friends. But if you're going to be pursuing this, this career in a different way, a speech pathologist independently, then I need you to, whether it's join a professional association, locally where speech pathologists can network, where you can talk to other people who have their own practice. How are you finding gigs? How are you finding work? What does it take? Do you know any better contracting or staffing agencies that you've worked with? And be open to that. Be open to kind of figuring things out in a new way. And you don't have to think about it as like, I'm starting all over. You're just learning, and everyone should be learning and growing, even at whatever age you're at. I don't want to say middle age because there's so much, negative connotation with that. But anyway, at a mature age, right? So be open to learning, be open to getting new ideas, be open to networking, because I think that sitting down with other people who are doing the thing that you want to be doing is probably going to reinvigorate you and make you more excited to continue on this path, because you're going to see like, okay, these people are doing it and they have bills and responsibilities just like me, and they're making it work. And then you'll have sort of that support system baked in as well. So that's what I would say. God, I hope that made sense. Thanks so much for submitting your question. All right. This is from listener Melissa. Melissa says, I am a longtime listener and lover of the podcast. BA has really helped me get on track with my finances and career. My question is, my husband and I are bringing in way more than we were before. We want to purchase a home, invest more, and lay down a great financial future. We reached out to a financial advisor who is fee only, and while we are making good money, I don't think it's enough to make a financial advisor worth it. While I am confident in my financial prowess, my husband often needs to hear things from someone who isn't me. What do you suggest as another place where we can find help/advice at a reasonable rate? Okay. Well, it sounds like you went to one financial advisor, a fee only financial advisor, and you got a quote and it was more than than you expected to pay, than you want to pay. I would say get a few more quotes. When I was shopping around for my financial planner, several years ago, I interviewed 3 or 4 different planners. And for me, it was, yes, to compare the rates and the costs and all of that, but also to get to know the person and make sure that it was a good personality fit. Now, if you're looking for someone who can, maybe not manage your investments for you, but help you and your husband, sort of like I did with my husband, have a financial planner that you can call up on the occasions when you guys have like a big financial moment, like you said, buying a home, laying down a financial future, which would, involve things like maybe estate planning, and wealth building for your future. Then you can have a financial planner just to come in at those key moments and sort of play, yes, financial advisor, but then also sort of like marriage counselor. Then I think it's worth the money. If you look at it that way, like, you're going to be paying whatever you're going to be paying for that, maybe a few $100s or whatnot. It may seem like a lot of money, but think about the time and the stress that you could be saving, not having to argue with your spouse about the decision that you're going to make and get them to see your point of view. Y'all know Tiff and I have talked about, being like the money person in the relationship. It does not mean that your partner, even though they love you, is going to always take your advice. Now, y'all love to listen to our advice, and that is a blessing, but family and friends, not so much. I don't know what it is. So if you just think of it that way, I'm going to be not just hiring a financial advisor to help us through this moment that I really know enough about that I could probably do it myself. But instead, you're thinking about a financial planner and advisor as someone who can smooth out this process for you and get you guys past the finish line together as a team. Then think of it that way, and maybe it will become worth it to you. And if you're listening and you're wondering, like, what is a fee only financial advisor and how can that differ from, someone who's, working off of commissions or things like that? When they're fee only, you typically have a flat rate, whether it's hourly or they may sell a package. We'll do all this financial planning, we'll do your retirement plan. We'll do some stuff, budgeting, whatever. Here's our package and here's what you get out of it, but you know what you're going to pay and you pay it up front. Whereas maybe a more like old school advisor may take a percentage of money that they're going to invest with you, or a percentage of your assets they may charge you. So whether you're looking at someone who's fee only or more of a traditional advisor model, just make sure that you understand how are they going to get paid, and don't be shy about asking that. And then when it comes to you feeling like this is a good use of my money, stop thinking of it, like I said, as a replacement for what you could be doing yourself. Because you say that you're confident in your financial, knowledge and all of that. And I'm sure if it was just you by yourself, you have no problem buying a home or investing now that you've earned more. But you need, or at least it sounds like you need, just like I did, someone who can sit down with you and make you and your partner go together as a team toward those goals. And one of the best benefits I would say of having a financial advisor for my partner, my husband and I, is that it really helped me, not be so like critical of his values and his goals. For him, owning a certain type of car or having a certain size garage for a house is really fundamentally important to his own happiness. And those are maybe not my same core values, but a financial planner can sort of show you that the plan that we're putting together will probably help you guys get both of what you value. And yeah, so playing that role as a intermediary, as a mediation person, as a, like a monkey in the middle, like helping you guys work through your challenges and speak better to each other and understand each other. I think that it's hard to put a price tag on that. Okay. So Melissa, my advice would be to rethink whether this investment in your relationship and your marriage and your future happiness as a partnership, as a team, maybe it is worth it. And even if you still feel like, this is pretty high, then go back, find some other fee-only planners and continue to get quotes until you feel like the services they're offering you are matching, for you anyway, how you value it and how much you want to pay. And I also will say, as you're starting to earn more, and Tiff and I have talked about this as well, like you don't always feel like you're really earning more, right? So I don't want you to be making more money, but be stuck in this, like, I'm operating from a place of what I was earning before. All right. So it's like you're still playing small when you got the money now, you've got the resources. Now it's time to like ratchet it up a little bit and spend that money that you're earning. And don't think of it as money lost. Again, think of it as money that you're investing into your own long-term happiness and the long-term happiness of your marriage, of this precious partnership, right? Okay. I hope that was good, Melissa. Thank you so much for sending your question. All right, BA fam. Again, I'm Mandi, aka Mandi Money. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. We'll be back next week. Every Friday, we are here answering y'all's questions through the BAQA. If you want to submit your question, you can hit us up in our DMs at Brown Ambition Podcast. You can also email us, brownambitionpodcast@gmail.com. Until next Friday. Bye.
Hey, BA fam. We're on YouTube. Woohoo! Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel.
And while you're at it, why don't you go over to that little bell icon and just tap that for us. Show the BA fam how much you love us. And that way you'll also get notifications when new videos drop. Also, share the channel with a friend. We're always like, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And thank y'all so much again for all the support.